just talk, let the rumors fly. I ain't got time to wonder why. The good Lord knows the man I am, and I'll die standing tall with a mic in my hand. You can kick rocks if you don't like how I talk. I'm gonna keep on talking and walk my walk. Ain't selling my soul for a seat at your table. I'm rough, I'm raw, I'm wild, I'm able.
Okay, welcome back to Bridging the Gap. We are joined by my special guest today, Ms. Bernadette Cannady. Ms. Bernadette, who's running in District 1 for County Council. How you been?
Great, doing good.
Good. I've noticed while I'm up there at the courthouse during council times, you're in that room a lot here lately.
Yes, I am. I started to go to council meetings on a regular because I wanted to see what was going on, how it happens, and how it works and what goes on. Because before I came, I was there because my community had issues, and I would come to the county to express my opinions. But now and this is my first time running for a political office, so I do need to. I'm educating myself on how things are run in the county.
So you've never been in a politically or elected office?
Not politically.
Okay, so this means that you're not a career politician.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I've been elected to, community organization, like right now, chair of the John Quinton Foundation and my other fraternal organizations. So, I've had the experience of running organizations, knowing what needs to be done, budgets, and how grants,
sure,
how they work, but not a political, not in the sort of the public realm, as they say.
That might be a good thing.
Might be.
I actually heard a delegate say just last weekend. He said he's all into being a public servant, but he doesn't want to be a politician.
Oh, okay.
There is a difference.
Yes.
There is a difference.
Yes.
So what have you gathered from your time going there? I mean, just observing.
I see government running, and one thing that I spoke to somebody about, I rarely hear a council person say, resident. I'm doing this because the resident needs it. And I'm like, what happened to the needs of the resident? Why aren't you focusing on, the needs of the resident? It's all, sort of government, plays back and forth. But, what about the needs of the specific communities and the residents?
Right. Now, speaking of some of the needs, what are some of the needs you've noticed in District 1?
And it's like you asked me before, during the wintertime. You asked me, Bernadette, what do you need? I said, I need my roads cleaned. I need to be able to go to work. I need electricity. If my grandchildren happen to be there, I need broadband. I need access to all of those things.
Sure.
I need to feel that I'm safe. When I go in tonight, in my home at night, because I do live in the country. As I tell people, no sidewalks, no streetlights. So I need to feel safe.
Wow.
I need to feel safe.
Now, thank you. Now, in your area, as far as for law enforcement, do you ever see any deputies down there from the sheriff's office?
I do on occasion, and I do see state troopers, other than the fact I know many of them live in that Mardella Sharptown area. But occasionally I see the sheriff department driving through, and that's the question. Is there a regular route? Do you just patrol regularly, or are you only coming if there's a problem? And that needs to also be addressed. Recently, I heard, because where the sheriff now is located,
yes,
I heard a community member say that they felt that they were being overly policed. And you know, I really feel that what's going on is it's a trust factor.
Sure.
You know, especially with our police force, we need to be able to trust.
Sure.
Trust is a big issue.
Right. Do you feel like, I mean, again, you're in what we call a minority district.
Yes.
Do you feel that the relationship with law enforcement in, your district is good? Or
I think there's always room for improvement. It's like the community policemen to be engaged in activities, and I've seen them, and I've seen it happen. I think it just needs to be upped a little bit.
Sure.
Because then your residents, you know, that trust begins to build. And I think that helps in any community. You know, you need to feel safe. You need to feel that you can trust the people who are supposed to be keeping you safe.
You should know them by name.
Yes.
You know, there's one thing I remember growing up down Nanticoke Way.
Yes.
We knew the neighborhood policemen. You know, it was more of a Mayberry feeling around there. But
exactly.
And I agree, we do need to go back to that. Have you ever met the sheriff? I mean, do you and the sheriff ever communicated?
I've never met the sheriff. You know, of course, I know who he is.
Sure. Yeah.
But you know, actually to sit down and talk to him and meet with him, no, I haven't. I've even been inside of the new facility.
Isn't it beautiful?
It's beautiful. And that's one of the things the public needs to know. One of the organizations that I belong to actually was able to hold a meeting there. You know, it's public space.
Sure.
But how many people know that? And, you know, again, it's another trust factor in knowing what's available, what resources are available in your community.
Sure. Good point. Now, again, here in this county, we are, you were a librarian, so you understand, you dealt with the young people, but our council makes sure we take care of education. What other areas do you think that we should be focusing on as far as putting money into? Education, definitely. Where else do you think that we need to put more money into?
They need to work with more after-school programs. And community programs, and also like in my area.
Sure.
You know, just work with the community and talk to them and see what is needed. You know, one thing that I would love to do, and I know this is costly, but to do a needs assessment, and we've talked about this before.
Wow, that's a good idea.
To do a needs assessment, and you know, it's like because you know when you get those. Fill out things in the mail, those questionnaires in the mail. We hate to do it, but every now and then you get enough feedback that you get a feel on what the community needs. Right.
Great idea. I think, and also, in my opinion, I think we need to have more town halls.
Yes.
You know?
Absolutely.
I mean, I really think that a lot of times the people feel overlooked because they never see the people they elected.
Right.
I try to encourage people to be informed before making a decision.
Right.
And not always go with just a familiar name on the ballot. And the reason why I say that, a lot of times I have seen, and I've got faces that come to my mind when I say this, people who have voted for the same person for decades just because they're a name that they've seen, but no changes have happened.
Nope.
You know,
I've not seen the person. It's just like coming up right now, we're going to be having a town hall with our state delegate, and that's great. And going forward, the council member needs to also connect with your community, and to not say every month, because sometimes it
can be kind of hard.
That's kind of hard, but at least on a quarterly basis.
Sure.
And make sure that you don't choose the same area every time you have the town hall.
Great idea on that too.
Just move around.
Sure. District 1's
kind
of big.
Right. Just find a spot. Right, because District 1 is so wide.
Wide. That's what I'm saying.
It's wide. It's agriculture based and residential based, and just choose different spots to have that town hall, because we're a multi-generation community.
Good point.
Everybody communicates differently. Our senior population, I feel, communicates best in person.
Okay.
And so those town halls will work for them.
Sure.
Facebook will work for some, texting will work for some, but, nothing replaces the personal contact.
Thank you. I was about to look up a stat. I wish I had did it before our interview here, but being a minority district, you outnumber as far as Black Americans. Okay, because I noticed one thing about a census: it's either black or white.
Yes, that's right. I was on that committee.
Yeah.
Right. They don't look at any other color.
Yeah. So, in your area, you at least double. At least. It might be a little bit more the Caucasians in that area, but it's one of those lowest voting areas.
Yes.
What can we do to increase people coming out to vote?
Yeah, and that's like voter education. I am, and my son, who is in that 40 age group, he's like my campaign manager. I said, look, tell your age group they have to register to vote, to, have change, to be involved. You've got to vote. So it's like voter education everywhere I go. And also, besides campaigning, I'm asking, are you registered to vote? Before I even tell you who I am, that's the most important question, because you can't help yourself if you're not registered to vote.
And I think the last time we spoke, you said when you were working at the library, you were encouraging people to register.
Oh, absolutely. Every person I see. My son lives in. I have two sons. The younger son is disabled. He lives in a group home. When I go to visit him, most of the people working with him are probably young folks under 40. And that's the first thing I say. I'm like, are y'all registered to vote? Well, Miss Bernadette, I'm not in your district. It doesn't matter.
No.
You need to be registered to vote.
Sure.
It's okay. I said, I can bring you guys some forms next time I come. But, it's about education. And
Amen to that. Now, something else you and I were talking about before we went on the air was the fact of, and this is something that I did, get the information from, not only just from the sheriff, but actually county executive backed that up. It's the fact of our county is majority Democrat.
Yes.
But a lot of those Democrats are conservative Democrats. And why do you think there are so many conservatives and they're still Democrat?
I think because it's just that's the way, it becomes a norm.
Okay.
My mother was a total Republican because that was that minority voting. That was their group. They were Republicans, but things changed, and now they changed to become Democrat. But I think it's just it's just a norm. It's just a public norm, and they feel safer, you might say, and being with a Democrat because it's been labeled.
Wow.
It's been labeled that way.
Wow. Do you feel that that's fair to do? Or do you think we just need to vote for the person, not the party?
You need to, sometimes, and I will say, normally I try to vote, my party lines. Maybe once or twice in my voting history, I might have crossed that party line because I was voting for the person.
Sure.
I wanted to vote for the person who was going to help my community.
Because, and thank you for being honest with that. I have found it, in my life, that once you get to know somebody, you can kind of pick from there whether or not they're your cup of tea or not.
Yes.
And I'd rather not know their party affiliation. Like I should say for the sheriff's race, I believe that shouldn't be a partisan race. It shouldn't be a Republican or Democrat because the sheriff is about protection of the whole county. Now, let me ask you this: as far as for when you've been going to the council meetings, and I know you don't go in there because somebody else is there, but how often has your opponent been up there? Let's say a percentage of the times you're there. How often is she there?
I would say it's been over It's been over maybe 60%. I would say
60% of the time.
in person.
Sure.
In person, because they do now. You can now Zoom in.
Sure.
So
Sure.
that adds to it. Do you have that opportunity to do that?
Mm-hmm.
But it's not about being at that. That councilman and representing District 1. It's not about just sitting there at that table.
Talk to me.
It's not I can see you at that table all year long, but if you're not coming to my community and seeing what my community needs, or telling me what's going on in that what happened at that council seat, how are you helping your district?
Yeah, that's true. How long have you been living in District 1?
I've lived there all my life. I've only left there to go to school. And then I, moved back home from Baltimore. So I've been in District 1 all my life.
As long as you've been there, how many times have you had a one-on-one conversation with whoever the representative is outside of going to the council meeting?
I've had that opportunity before this particular council.
Okay.
I'm one-on-one talks with former District 1 council persons. Oh, yeah, on a regular basis.
I mean, I think that, like Ernie Davis.
Oh, yeah, in my community.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. They've been there.
But since then, you really not as much.
No.
Okay.
No.
Interesting.
Only during, of course, campaign time. I might see, even the councilmen, because, now we don't have councilmen at large. We're not going to have that anymore. But even before then, it was only during campaign time.
Wow. So, not just your person, because when you had them at large, you didn't really see them there either?
No.
Wow.
Only during campaign time.
Interesting. That needs to change or stay the same?
Does it need to change?
Or stay the same?
Oh, no, that needs to change. That definitely needs to change, because once again, that's why people are not voting, because they feel like it doesn't matter.
Wow.
If you're not seeing your representative, if you're not able to talk to them, and you don't see change, and I'm not promising any miracles that are going to happen, but at least you will know what's going to happen. Or if something's on the rise, you're going to know about it.
Sure. Thank you. Let me ask you this: if you were to get the budget, again, there's a schedule of things to get done.
Yes.
And let's say the budget was on your desk in February.
Yes.
Would you wait a couple of months before reading it, or how soon would you start reading that budget?
When I got that budget.
Why?
Because I want to know. I want to know what's on there, because it takes time to even talk to say if I was a council member, you need to read it immediately, because again, I'm not the one person that's going to drive the budget. After November, we're going to have 7 people on that council.
Absolutely.
We've all got to be able to work together, and I want to know what's on that budget. We need to talk about this, because say my community is not getting what they need, or the program is not here that they need. So we need to talk about this.
Good point. Right. Well, I will say this. I was actually at a town hall in District 2 down at the West Side Community Center. I don't know if you heard about that on the news and everything, but it was brought up that they needed a new roof.
Yes.
And the unique thing was their actual council representative for District 2. He was at another meeting. He wasn't there. I'm not trying to rain on his parade.
Right.
But the councilman at large was there, and what he did, along with the director of administration, what he did then is he addressed it. And he said he was going to take it to the council. And again, some people got upset by that. But was that the way that you would approach it? For that particular idea, well, they, again, to make sure that there's money there, because I don't want to promise, a group of residents that this is going to happen, and then it not happened. Right, absolutely.
So we need to follow, how things work and how money is appropriated to make sure that say they needed a roof, and thank goodness they are going to get that roof.
Yes.
After the last county council, they're going to get that roof, and thank goodness that is needed. But I would not promise something unless I knew it was going to happen for sure.
Absolutely. No, and again, I was at that one. One good thing I can tell you about with that councilman, what he did is, number one, he made sure there was somebody there that could actually say yay or nay.
Yes.
And I did a little bit of research because I agree, especially that area.
Yes.
I mean, I love all of Wycomico.
Yes.
But I'm from Weetipquin. I'm from Tip Neck, and people from there know what that is.
Yes, I know.
So I want to make sure that the people there are not being selling any wolf tickets, because we've had that happen before.
Yes.
But one thing I liked about that councilman is he had the director of administration, and I found out later after doing my research that he had actually heard about it, got wind from it from the people that were over that, and he went to the county executive. And she said, well, let's get somebody to do some bids. And then he approached it. But I agree. We don't need to just jump out there and make promises.
Right.
But once you were told of something that was going on in your area, one thing I can say about Council Lady Shields, she made a comment in our interview that if there's something wrong in the area, she'll give the number of that person in charge of that to that person. Is that the way you would handle it? How would you handle it if somebody in your area told you there was something going on, and the council is there to legislate, right? The person that has to kind of tell the office, the people to do, and I could be wrong, and I'm pretty sure somebody's going to tell me if I am, but you have to go through the executive's office to get to that different department. Would you actually go through the channel of actually including the executive, or would you say, I'm just going to go to that department head?
Right. Well, again, I think there is a chain of command that you need to follow, and just follow that chain of command. And again, if it's something in the county that, or in my district, that the residents said, this is going to happen, then I'm going to, I will just follow the chain of command.
Okay. All right. Now I like that answer too. I want to ask you this, and I did also ask Council Lady Shields about it, and I'm pretty sure you were made aware of it. Though we have two people who's running for the council seat, we have nobody running for a school board. How do you feel about that?
Believe me, before the cutoff date, I was calling people. I had submitted my name for District 1, but at the same time, I was talking to other residents and about the Board of Education seat. I was doing it all. I mean, we were working right up until that deadline, trying to find someone to fill that seat. And to be very honest and transparent, I thought about it myself, but I just felt the greater need was at that council for my area. The county covers the Board of Ed, and I'm sure they're going to, if there's no write-in, someone will be appointed to cover that area. But as a county council person, you need to also cover that area too.
It's kind of embarrassing that it's the minority district when we can't find anybody to represent our kids.
Once again, it's about the public not believing that our system works for them.
Well, and here's another unique thing. My question is, again, did the community know? Okay, not everybody is in the political realm.
That's
right?
True.
Now, but one thing I find a little bit alarming, and this is, again, look, take the R or the D away. Neither party went after putting somebody up.
Yes.
Why?
Right. And you gotta ask yourself, why is that?
Because Whitney said, I believe the children are our future, but if we don't have someone to
stand up for, you've got to have someone to stand up for your children. I mean, and my son will tell you during his high school years, the front office knew me on first name basis. And it's not because I was there because he was a disruptive child. It was because I was involved in his education.
Should be.
But again, it's educating the public, being educated on how politics runs, how government runs, how the board is selected, how, it's just an education. And again, hopefully I can help with that.
Okay. And you got some good answers here. Now, let's just say you had a problem with whoever the executive is during that time. Would you then, every time that person, whoever it is, whether it's Mr. Davis or Mrs. Giordano, would you, whatever they put up, just shoot it down?
No. That, the blame game does not work for me. I look to find answers to solutions. Just find an answer to a solution. There is an answer out there, and it doesn't have to be a shouting match. It doesn't have to be an argument. Just find an answer to the solution. I use it throughout my work life. And when things go wrong, let's not blame this person or blame that person. Let's just find a solution.
It don't do much for us, do it?
No, let's just find a solution to the problem. Let's say where maybe something went wrong, someone wasn't connected, someone missed the communication. It happens. Let's figure it out and let's make it right.
Absolutely. Communication will solve a lot of problems, won't it?
Absolutely. Communication works. It works.
All right, I got like 2 more questions and we'll be done. One of them is one that is, something that's on my heart. As my wife and I are actually planning for this, I'm going to invite you here now. We're doing a Praise in a Park on the weekend for the homeless. Okay. And it's to reach the homeless. Do you think that the county is doing enough when it comes to the homeless? And if not, what do you think needs to be done?
Okay, I think reaching out to the churches, nonprofits, fraternal organizations. Right now I can list at least 8 fraternal organizations in this area. I know monies are limited. Housing, is limited. Even
housing crisis, yeah.
Yeah, we have a housing crisis. It's limited even for folks that are out there working 9 to 5s every day. Sure. So again, we just need to reach out to all of these organizations. Let's reach out to them and say, hey, we need your help. We need, they don't have a home, they don't have food. We need your help to get them, through the winter, through the summer, or even help them, move forward and finding somewhere to stay. Okay.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Now, my last question is back to law enforcement. Do you feel, let's put a grade on it. A through E. How is the communication between law enforcement and our communities?
Communication, again, I think it's about education and trust. I wouldn't, I think it's really hard to give it a grade. I think the community is just lost trust. And I think, and I don't want to put all the work on our law enforcement. I know they're out there doing a job, but I think if they would work together, that trust factor will get better. Because I really think it's just a trust issue right now. Even for myself, I would have to say, even for myself, when I leave home and I get in the car, and because it's everything that you hear on the news, you
hear a lot too.
I don't walk around with blinders on, but I make sure that my license, registration, insurance card is readily there so I can pick it up. Because, and I'm not a speeder, but, these are, it's life changes. And again, it's just, it's about trust. I think we just need to work together and build that trust factor.
And I hope I didn't break your trust when I said that was my last question, but you made a comment about where the new sheriff's office is.
Yes.
When I was talking to Sheriff Lewis a while ago, he said that place was strategically put near Indian Village, so response time would be cut down. Mm-hmm. Do you see that as a plus or a minus?
I think it is I think it is a plus. But what has happened, that the community that talks to me, which is part of District 1, and they feel like they're being over policed. And I say to them, try not to look at it that way. They're just more visible. It's more, they can't help but be more visible.
Yeah.
And that's what you want your law enforcement to be, more visible.
I like that thought. I can tell you as a young person that he didn't know how to keep his pants pulled up and stuff, and I seen police and I was like, now as somebody who actually trying to, do what's right, I see them and I'm glad they're there.
Yes.
So
yes.
Maybe it's time for us to change our thought pattern in a lot of ways.
Yes.
And like you said, it's a good thing because there are elderly, there are people that are happy. I can tell you, District 2, down Nanticoke Road, there's places down there that they want more police to be. And it's not because they got more crime, because if you really look at it statistically, that's one of the most safest spots of the county. However, it's all about visibility. As there's more people moving in, as there are more rehab houses, which they have pushed to the outskirts. I don't know if they're in District 1 yet.
Yes.
They're in District 2.
Yes.
And it's not, I believe that the police, and this is just my opinion, back in my opinion again on this, I believe that the police are there to keep good people keep doing good. Not, the bad people, they may do things and then they'll get alarmed and they stop. But good people, sometimes we need that constant reminder that you're okay doing what you're doing, but if you don't, you can go right along with them.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly. So okay, all right. Well, I think that's about it. I mean, I can definitely talk to you all day. You just got that. You've got that motherly role. I feel that, and I get a feeling you make a good mac and cheese.
Oh, okay.
I appreciate you coming in. Is there anything else you'd like to say to the constituents before we wrap up?
I would just like to say, get out and vote. Whatever you do, get out and vote. No matter who your choice will be, your job is to get out and vote.
You heard it here first. This has been Bridging the Gap. Thank you, Mrs. Cannady, for coming on, and we'll be talking to y'all soon. Have a great one. That was good.